Huge victory for Kyle Larson, and I have to give you some credit because yesterday on the broadcast, we get that late caution, and they asked the question, what are these teams going to do? And Larry said, strategy's going to be all over the board. And it was. 4 drivers stay out. Chase Briscoe gets 4 tires. Larson takes 2. That ends up being the difference.
Well, and you know, sometimes, and they had about 30 or 40 laps on their tires, but sometimes, and David knows this, depending on how a car is driving, changing just right side tires can actually wake it up. But I go back to the fall race. We had a late race caution. Cliff Daniels changed 2 right side tires and ended up finishing second in that race right there. So that's twice that they have made that work for them. But you know, Kyle Larson talked about great pit stops. Of course, that was a 2-tire stop. But that 5 team had 4 4-tire stops earlier in the race. And the slowest one was 10-4. 2 of them was in the 9-second bracket. He started 19th, but he made a run toward the top 10. He finished inside the top 10 in stage 1 without the aid of a caution. So they progressively made that car better, but it was at its best on those 2 tires at the end.
Yeah, and that restart at the end with 45 laps to go, Larry, I feel like that was a crucial moment because I feel like if Chase Briscoe gets in front of Kyle Larson, Briscoe had been the dominant car prior to that caution. I don't know if Kyle's able to get around him, but he makes a very good and aggressive move getting into turn 1 at him when they throw the green flag. He settles into 3rd, and really Kyle's car outperforms Chase Briscoe's car those last 35 laps. Kyle's able to march forward, take the lead. An epic battle with Joey Logano, and Chase Briscoe falls back a couple spots.
How many races have we seen Hendrick Motorsports win over the last year and a quarter by doing just 2 tires on a late race pit stop? We've seen it several times. Byron, Rudy Fugle, they did it at Phoenix a few weeks ago.
Let's face it, though, in that race yesterday, and really throughout the weekend, track position was the name of the game. We saw it earlier in the race when they left Ross Chastain out, and he was able on much older tires to maintain the lead. We knew track position was going to be key. Larson gets it yesterday, and he wins the race. Now we look at the top 10, and it's an interesting bag here. If you take the top 10 finishers, 6 of them had an average running position of 14th or worse. They weren't up there all day long, but they were when it mattered, including Joey Logano, who starts in the rear after a problem. They get that buttoned up, but he lost a lap. And a steady climb to the front, some strategy late, somehow, some way. The 22 is second at the end of the afternoon.
Yes, solid, recovery for what the start of the race looked like. We went down a lap twice, 2 times, and at one point in the race, I'd have been just happy to finish on a lead lap. And Paul did a good job of getting some good changes to the Verizon Mustang to where it got competitive. We just needed track position. Was able to stay out, get a lucky caution there during the green flag cycle. Stayed out again when everyone pitted and put us on the front row and a shot to win the race. I tried holding off Larson as long as I could, but overall, there's days when you're mad about second. Today's not one of those. Today's when you're pretty stoked that you finished a little better than I thought we were going to.
We made history yesterday in Martinsville. Yes, another win for Rick Hendrick at the paperclip, but maybe bigger than that. Joey Logano finishes second in a NASCAR race, and he actually feels good about it when it's all said and done,
yeah,
David.
I did see Joey smiling there, which isn't normal for those guys that finish second. But, you know, Joey's race really took a turn for the better on lap 303 when a caution came out, and he was one of 7 cars that had stayed out. They were running that run long, Larry. They hadn't pitted, and that gave him an opportunity to come down. He was on the lead lap, take 4 tires, and restart in the top 10, and then he stayed out again in the final caution. And you know, this is a testament to how strong that 22 team is. Paul Wolfe, Joey Logano, they're champions, they're professionals. They're not going to give up. They keep fighting. Joey had a good attitude all day, kept working on his race car, but everything that is going wrong with your race car, when you restart in the top 3 or 4, it's all a little better because clean air does solve a lot of problems. And even when you're going 100 miles an hour at Martinsville, Larry, that clean air up front definitely helps.
Yeah, if look back at my 18 years as a crew chief, if my average running position for the majority of the race was 20 seconds and I finished second, I'd be skipping out of that racetrack. But to David's point, they were running 6 when that last caution came out, and Paul Wolfe said, we're going to stay out. We're going to see what we can do right here. And I think Joey knew he was not going to beat the 5 car. He probably was not going to win the race. But Joey said something last night that's really interesting. I think we sometimes lose sight of. He said, with that win in Atlanta a few weeks ago, we got a bigger playbook we can work out of. We can roll the dice and try things, and obviously they just about pulled it off.
One word that's missing, though, is consistency. If you look at yesterday's graph, it's like this. If you look at their season graph, it's a lot of
They're
this.
struggling with this slow downforce aero package.
But hey, you know what? He's the reigning champ. As you said, he's got to win. It's going to be.
Give him a little bit of grace.
Hey, race fans, thanks for watching our video. For all NASCAR on Fox News, content, and the best clips from Fox Sports, be sure to follow and subscribe to our channel.